What's going on, everybody? It's your girl Shawnee here with no cap space, and we have a very special guest today. We have Norfolk State's MeMe Wheeler. How are you today?
I'm doing good. Really happy and blessed on this Sunday.
I bet, because we about to get into why. So this is our Unity episode. For those that don't know, I went to Hampton, right across the way in the 757. So we decided we gonna come together and we gonna beef with Howard. But
Yep.
before we do that, let's get into why this weekend is so special for you because you guys are fresh off of a 62-point win. That's right, 6-2 over SC State. In that one, not only did you have a cool 26 and 12, 26 and 12, you scored your 1000th career point. Now you're a sophomore, right?
Junior.
Junior, excuse me. Okay, still pretty big weekend for you. Paint the picture. What was the bucket?
So my coach was telling me all week he's been on me about extending my game and shooting the three more because in practice or when I'm getting shots up, I'll extend out to the three, but I was never like too comfortable shooting it in the game. So this week I had been shooting a lot farther out, and it was a moment in the game where he was telling me like shoot the three, like roll out to the three. So I let my freshman point guard know I'm about to roll out to the three, like hit me. And then when she finally hit me, I realized that I wasn't at the 3-point line. Like I was like a little bit farther back. So I took a dribble back. Let me get back there, and I shot it. And I was just like, I just knew I was gonna make it because I had all my teammates we was on the home side, we was on the bench side. I had all my teammates in the back, like, no, she didn't. So I was like, I gotta hit now.
So you have the perfect setup. You digging deep in the bag. We gonna say it was at the logo because they don't know. We gonna sit until footage comes out. You was at the logo and you just pulled up and you hit it. So what was that moment like for you, and what's it like to reach this milestone?
It was actually amazing. It's crazy because I didn't know that I was that close to my 1,000 points until my coach had subbed me out, and he was like, "That was your 1,000 points, like that 3-pointer." And I'm just sitting there like, "Wow!" Like, I'm not telling my teammates. I'm like, "That was my 1K. That's my 1K." They was like, they couldn't believe it. Like all our mouths just dropped because that was just a so real moment. Just before even knowing that it was my 1K, my teammates was cheering me on. So it's like afterwards, just to know that that was a big milestone for me. It was like I can't describe it. It was a happy feeling.
Okay, so for those that don't remember, you kind of burst on the scene during the NCAA tournament. Y'all gave South Carolina pretty much all they can handle, and in a different bracket with a different seating, I think y'all would have advanced past that first round. What was that experience like, and then what did it teach you in terms of what you needed to add to your game during the off season?
Um, that experience was so real, honestly. I think my whole team was dialed in, and I was like, I've always watched basketball. I've always played basketball for a very long time. So like, I always told my mom when I was watching the March Madness games, like I gotta get to one of these games. Like I gotta be able to play in one of these games because anything can happen in March. Like, and I love that feeling. And it's like a lot of people think like, oh, March is the time, but really, it's preseason. Like basketball is a year-round sport. So I think when it came down to it, that team had been prepared because of the preseason we had. I was new to the team last year. So, and they kind of just brought me in and they brought me up and they just told me like, we're going to work hard and we're going to run and we're going to play defense. And I think when we got to the tournament, we worked hard, we ran and we played defense and we stuck to our principles. And that's what got us there and kept us going.
And then, so what's off season look like for you after that?
Off season after getting like the most highest compliments from Ms. Dawn herself, off season was really for me focusing on my weight loss and really just changing my game. Like I extended my game out to I've always had a shot, but I wasn't comfortable. So I really worked on my shot this summer and conditioning a lot and just getting in the weight room so I can maintain my strength as well.
Okay, and now we see you hitting logo three. So it's paying off so far. Let's talk about what the MEAC is this year because right now you guys are like a game ahead of North Carolina Central. You're like a game ahead of Coppin, and then 2 games in front of Howard, I believe. So just talk about how competitive the MEAC is and what's making it that competitive.
I think the media is very underestimated when it comes to our conference just because of the intensity that we bring. It's a lot of neighboring schools, so like the environment plays a big part and what we do in the MEAC. And we they everybody's well prepared when it comes to the MEAC. Everybody knows our scout, their scout. Everybody knows that I'm right-handed, that I like to go right. They know they want to place in zone. So it's just really like being in the MEAC is about preparation and toughness. You got to be able to battle through anything, environment, scout, your teammates. You got to be able to hold them accountable every time.
And let's talk about environment, because one of my favorite things about HBCU basketball in general is just that healthy amount of negativity, mostly coming from the band. The band are ruthless at games. What's been the toughest environment for y'all to play in this season?
I would have to go with Central. Their gym is very packed in. It's very loud. Everything echoes, and they have, like you said, the band. Even the students, they're just the biggest trolls. Like I'm at the free throw line. He's like, your headband's to the side, and I'm like, don't listen to him. You can't hear him. But in the back of my head, I'm like, dang, let me pull down my headband. So it's a great friendly competition, and I love that they show up and show up for their fans, because that's what you're supposed to do. So I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, and it'll make you feel self-conscious. Sometimes they'll lie and be like, dang, is my headband? But yeah, you gotta keep moving. So, your coach has a long-standing history with NSU. He went there. He was part of that coaching staff when they got the upset in the tournament, that Kyle O'Quinn team. What is it like playing for him, and what has he been able to bring in terms of that experience and history?
I think a lot of people don't know him very well because he's not like a super media person, but Coach LB is really a generous and a smart guy. And playing with him is honestly like it's raised my IQ level a lot, because of the way he approaches the game. And playing for him, really dialed in on the defensive end. I think he showed me how important it is to affect both sides of the floor. And just being on his team is like it brings out the intensity in my game.
Okay, because for those that don't know, Larry Vickers also played, and if you ever meet him, like you could tell, because that's a tall dude. So let's kind of shift gears a little bit. You're from Minneapolis?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay. What's the basketball scene like up there? Because I went for the Final Four the other year. It's a beautiful city, but what's the basketball scene like?
It's very intense, honestly. I think we're underrated when it comes to a lot of basketball in Minnesota, because we're not the biggest state and we're not the highly recruited anything. But I had a chance to play against people like Paige Buckers. I even AU. Our Tech Caitlin Clark used to come to Minnesota for our tournaments. So I think a lot of people, even Tessa Johnson, she goes to South Carolina. A lot of people out of Minnesota are really good hoopers. They're just undermined because I guess we're not the biggest states. We're not Florida or Cali. So a lot of times you don't hear their names, but eventually you will.
Honestly, I mean, y'all, Prince kind of set the tone. He was a hooper. That's y'all's favorite hooper. But like, y'all carrying the torch and putting y'all on the map. So how does someone from Minnesota end up in the 757?
I have no idea. I would like to say that it was planned out, but it was not. Coach LV called me after I put my name in the transfer portal. I had committed from JUCO to Chicago State, and when I got there, I just didn't feel like it was the place for me. It was nice people, but it just wasn't. It didn't feel right for me basketball wise. So I put my name in the transfer portal, and Coach LV and a couple other coaches reached out to me. And it's funny because I went on a few visits, but I'd never visit Norfolk State a day in my life. And we had only been talking over the phone. I had hopped in the transfer portal so late that I had to hurry up and make my decision. So when I was talking to him, he was very honest, and I like honesty. A lot of coaches try to play in a more personal side when recruiting, but in all actuality, it's a business as well. So I like that he presented the business side to me, and he was very upfront about his intentions with me, and that made me comfortable and committed to Norfolk State.
Okay, and then just what was your favorite part about getting acclimated to NSU?
My favorite part, I would have to say, the HBCU culture is amazing. Honestly, it's nothing like it. I think when you come here, you're a lot more comfortable. I think I found myself coming to NSU, just being able to be myself. And it doesn't matter if I used to be a quiet, girl. Now I'm more outspoken, and I really appreciate just the environment making me feel comfortable enough to get my voice heard.
Okay, and then I know, Battle of the Bay, but we're not talking about that. We talking
Yeah.
other rivalries. So, you're a woman of many talents. You're a gamer as well.
Yes.
How often do you get to hop on the sticks, and what kind of games do you play?
Honestly, I suck at Apex, but I do like it. My teammates try to get me to play Fortnite all the time, but I just can't stand the building and the sniping.
Get it.
But I am crazy at COD. Anybody can stop.
Okay.
I love Call of Duty. That's really where I spend most of my time. When I'm on my PS5, is Call of Duty. So whenever I got my off days, I like to close my door, shut the window off, put my headset on. I just need a few hours on the game to really just, decompress, and I really enjoy playing Call of Duty.
Are you on there talking mad smack?
For sure. Some things shouldn't be said, but they are. I talk smack to kids, grown men, women. I don't discriminate.
Okay, so I mean, I've heard what they've been saying, so I'm kind of like, you got to hold your own. But does that carry over onto the court at all?
For sure. I've heard a few things that I want to bring onto the court. One kid called me a sucker, and I'm like, all right. I think next time I'm on the court, somebody say to me, I'm gonna be like, you sucker, because I like they giving me motivation to keep going.
That's a throwback kind of insult. Like, where kids?
Yeah, I haven't heard that, and then they were young, so just imagine a squeaky voice like I got shot, sniped. You like, you sucker? I'm like, whoa.
Okay, all right, that's what we're doing. Fine. And then you gotta come back. So you ever take with the band said and use it on them kids?
For sure.
So in that same vein, let's talk about the team. Who would be the biggest trash talker on the team?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's between Diamond and McCoy, for sure. Diamond never shuts up. She really doesn't. But once Coy get going, she won't stop. She will not stop. So between them two, I can't take
it. Y'all be ready for everything after y'all's practice.
No, literally. No, we laugh it off in the locker room afterwards. It's no problem. But in the heat of, we'd have had a few heated practices, really, where it's just it's back and forth. And Diamond's like, yeah, me. She in my head, and I'm in her head. I'm like, yeah, Dom, I'm coming up off the screen. I'm trapping her. I'm trying to make sure she don't get the shot off. But those practices are probably one of our best practices because we're in there to compete and make each other better every time.
That iron sharpens iron mentality. And then, popping out to the conference. Who has the best trash talkers on the court?
On the court, On court trash talkers, I would have to go with Central. Central is pretty. They're pretty good with it. They're classy. I like a classy trash talk.
What does that mean? Wait, walk us through that.
Okay, so if you're a dirty trash talker, it's a lot of cussing, it's a lot of unnecessary. But if we're running down the court, we side by side, and you just go too little, that's all right. You know the game good enough to hide it from the refs. It's not too personal. It's right. It's up close and personal. So I like classy trash talkers.
Okay. And then what are you looking forward to most with the tournament coming up?
Obviously another ring.
That's always at the top.
That's all, but also just seeing what the city brings out. I think this year women's basketball is at its peak. So I'm excited to see the fans get engaged. I'm excited to see March, even in the games we're not playing. March is a crazy month, so anything can happen. I just think a lot of teams are prepared to come to play, and so are we.
And speaking of getting the city behind you, I saw that bus. After the tournament run, y'all had pictures on buses, and you had a billboard or two.
Yeah, we had a billboard, and then they put us on the train. It's called the Tide. They put us on the Tide train. It was surreal, honestly.
Man, was that what was that like, like not knowing what you were going to experience when you got on campus to seeing you on the tide train?
It was crazy because they had us walking in the back like by construction, and I'm like, y'all made us put on dresses. I got my best fit on out here. You telling me I got my best fit on out here? I got a dress on. It's black. It's hot, and I'm like, what are we doing? So when the train pulled up, and I just seen like MEAC chips, our faces, we would just started screaming like we just like wow. Like we couldn't believe it, how much the city like was happy for us and supported us, and just showed their appreciation for women's basketball in general. Because I don't see a lot of people doing
And just finally on that note, on heading into the tournament, what do you guys feel like separates you from the rest of the competition this year?
that. Our toughness. I think that we've been battle tested a lot this year, whether it was in conference or out of conference. We started off the season without Diamond, and then Diamond joined us. And before Diamond joined us, we played 2 Power 5 schools. And I just think we came together as a team and just we know our end goal. Like we took them losses to the chest, and a few of them we took pretty hard. But every time we bounced back and we came together. So I think coming into the tournament, our previous experience is going to help us stay together and bounce back through anything when it comes down to the wire.
Okay. So then let's get a little personal. What was your welcome to college moment? Was it on the court? Did you get lost on the way to class? What was that?
I had 2 welcome to college moments. One, when I first came here, I didn't know I thought we had weights then conditioning, but no, we had conditioning and then weights. And I was a few minutes late to the stretching, and I'm thinking like, okay, nobody gonna notice. You was only like 2-3 minutes. Nobody said anything. We stepped up to that line. He said, "MeMe, to the side. I'm hitting suicides on the football field while my team started conditioning, and then I had to join." Ooh. Because I was like 2-3 minutes late to stretching, and there I'll tell you, I haven't been late since. So that was a good example. But on the court, my welcome to college moment, it had to be with Camille and Deja, my teammates last year. Camille Downs and Deja Francis. We was playing pickup, and I'm a big trash talker when it comes to them because they started and I just like to finish. So I came in, they didn't really have a post my side. So I came in, I'm getting rebounds, I'm getting putbacks, I'm going up. And I come down the court, Camille passed it to Deja. I'm on the same side as him, so 2v1. Camille passes to Deja, Deja passed it back to Camille, and then Camille does like a crazy behind the back.
Oh no.
And I try to step over and one, and I just fall to the ground. And Camille's looking at me like, yeah, like yeah, we got you. And I'm just like, dang, like I couldn't believe it because I'm the biggest trash talker. So when I went down, I'm like, they ain't gonna let me live this one.
Yeah, you already knew what it was.
They wasn't gonna let me live that one down, but they've always competed with me since I've got here, and I love the culture that we bring to it.
So that first moment, do you now like warn the freshmen like, hey, y'all better not be late, or like do you let them learn that on their own?
No, I told them off rip.
Yeah.
AJ, she wasn't too familiar until she got punished. But the other 2 freshmen pretty much they took my warning as as word, and they didn't come late. AJ had to get her own experience, and I don't think she's been late since. So I think everybody needs that one remember to never do it again.
Some people got to touch the stove to know it's hot. Others can watch you get burnt. So True. Whatever works. So like, game day, getting into the mode. What's your playlist looking like?
My playlist is crazy. It's all over the place, honestly. Because I do enjoy a few R&B songs during the game just to keep me mellowed out. But it pertains to Lil Baby. I have to start off. My first song is "Low Down" by Lil Baby. Or like "Not a Fire Drill" by Bees. And then I have to go to my second song is "Never Care" by G Herbo. That's my top 3 for game day.
Okay. So you're not like Michael Jordan listening to Kenny Lattimore before the game,
Nah. Okay. I gotta get in that mode.
Okay. And then finally, your major, because you have some interesting, goals, and we can finish there. Just tell the people like what you're looking at down the line and how NSU is preparing you right now.
My major is right now is sociology. When I first came to college, it was business and marketing, and my academic advisor switched me over to sociology. And honestly, it's been great just to get in a major that I'm really comfortable in and I understand. And NSU has helped me a lot with just the courses I'm taking. Is like racial minority. I'm taking a couple the S class called the family, and it's really just informing me on like inform me on the minds of people more, and I think that helps me a lot when it comes to the court and what I want to do outside of basketball.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, we thank you so much for joining the No Cap space where it's all ball, no lies. And we're gonna keep be on the lookout. MEAC tournaments coming up. So y'all stay tuned.
Thank you for having me.